Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. In today's video, I will be tracking a wicked storm system bringing very heavy mountain snow, flooding rainfall, and severe weather through the upcoming week, getting towards the New Year's holiday here as well. If you guys are new to the channel and have not yet subscribed, everybody here joining me this morning, hit the subscribe button down below. We're getting so close to 7,000 subscribers, guys. My goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers before the end of December, so definitely help out here in achieving my goal. Hit that subscribe button down below, everyone joining this morning, and the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. I cover Canada, the United States, and the tropics, so definitely hit both those buttons down below, as well as the like button as well, guys. Definitely much appreciated. Looking back here across the Indian Ocean, I did want to step back and actually show you what is going on just to the west of Australia. A powerful tropical cyclone. This is Tropical Cyclone Darian across the central Indian Ocean here this morning. This is a Category 4 type of system with 132 mile per hour winds. You can definitely see the eye of this system here across the central Indian Ocean. And again, it's over the open waters, not really affecting anybody here on land, but definitely a very nice sight to see on the visible satellite here this morning. But back closer to home here, we're talking about those colder temperatures through the upper Midwest, the Ohio Valley, into the Northeast, and all of Canada for the most part going through the afternoon. We got the high temperatures in the single digits above or below zero up here into the Dakotas, Minnesota, getting into northern Iowa here. We got the teens to 20s for highs here back to the west across Kansas, Nebraska, and eastbound toward the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, and then those colder below zero high temperatures across portions of southern and southeastern Canada through the day today. We have some return flow across the southern United States with those 40s and 50s returning for portions of Texas, Oklahoma, through the Arklatex and the southeastern regions as we head towards this afternoon. We're tracking two separate systems here today. We got the Alberta Clipper system tracking southeastward through the Ohio Valley as we head through the day today, bringing some lighter snowfall accumulations to places like Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, down here through Kentucky, and even Tennessee as well. So we'll be watching that system. But back up here across the Pacific Northwest, very heavy rains taking shape across portions of Washington, Oregon, down here into northwestern California, and even some higher elevation snows a little bit farther to the north here up toward British Columbia, with all of that colder air up toward the Vancouver area later on today. And looking at the visible satellite imagery, it does paint that great picture here showing where these two systems are. We have that Alberta Clipper system dropping southeast from the Midwest into the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys here today with some of these brighter cloud tops. But look at how bright these cloud tops are across the Pacific Northwest. This is a powerful storm system that is just getting underway, which will be bringing some flooding rain and some very heavy mountain snow in the days to come across much of the Pacific Northwest and much of the West Coast, respectively, as we head through this week. But back across the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys, we do have a smattering of winter weather advisories here across eastern Iowa, northwestern Illinois, and getting down here into downstate Illinois, parts of Missouri here into southern portions of Indiana around the Evansville area, west central Kentucky, and then even getting down into western Tennessee here. We could be seeing some lighter snow down toward the Memphis area as we get into later on this afternoon. And again, it's not going to be a backbreaker type of snow event. We're seeing mainly 1 to 2 inches worth of fluffy, dry snowfall here across Illinois, getting into Indiana here, western portions of Ohio, getting down into west central portions there of Kentucky, and maybe even western Tennessee, getting closer toward the Memphis area later on today. Again, not a backbreaker snow event, maybe just enough to get the shovels out across some of these areas as we head throughout the day today and going into your Tuesday. If you guys are still with me on the video, it's definitely important to press the like button down below here. It's that thumbs up button. Definitely gets all of this weather information out here to more and more people, so I definitely appreciate all the likes out there. But yeah, we got a very large difference here of air masses as we go through the week this week here. A very big temperature flip-flop through the week. On Tuesday here, December 27th, tomorrow, we're going to see those warmer anomalies across the west coast and the central plains, with those cooler anomalies still setting up across the eastern two-thirds of the United States. But look, as we get towards the late week time frame here this upcoming week on Thursday, December 29th, that pattern does flip. We have the colder anomalies across the west coast and the Intermountain West, and then those warmer anomalies, and much warmer anomalies at that, with those 15 to as much as 30 degrees above average across much of the eastern two-thirds of the country, even getting up here into southeastern Canada by that time frame, and then really going all the way through the New Year's Day holiday. We're seeing those above normal temperature anomalies taking shape from eastern Canada all the way to the Gulf Coast and Texas on Sunday, January 1st here of 2023. So let's take a look at those temperatures here going into the day tomorrow on Tuesday, December 27th. We got all those warmer temperatures farther off to the west. We got those 50s and 60s all the way up here into the lee side of the Rockies and down through portions of Texas, eastern New Mexico, into western Kansas here and western Oklahoma. All those warmer temperatures to the west. Some colder air still hanging on across the Great Lakes and the Northeast, but this will be moving eastbound as we head towards the middle of the week, and replacing that will be some much warmer temperatures here by the time we get into that Wednesday and even especially Thursday timeframe on December 29th. We got widespread 50s across the Missouri, Illinois Valley, eastward here towards the Mid-Atlantic, and southward here. We have widespread 60s across portions of Missouri, Oklahoma, down through Texas here. Even some lower 70s cannot be ruled out here across places like Houston, New Orleans, getting up here toward Baton Rouge, and then over towards portions of the Panama City area as we get through the day on Thursday, and then going all the way through towards that Saturday time frame, New Year's Eve, and then finally into New Year's Day itself on Sunday, January 1st of 2023. We have those widespread 40s, 50s, and 60s across much of the eastern two-thirds of the United States, with those colder temperatures farther up into Canada and the Pacific Northwest, with that pattern flip-flop as we get toward that New Year's holiday. But looking here at the precipitation across these areas, with that big wicked storm moving through, we have that U.S. drought monitor out here from last Thursday showing widespread drought still across much of the center of the country and the west coast. And this is going to be a big player into what we see moving forward here with the precipitation as we get through the rest of this year and turning the page to 2023. We do have that big system, like I was mentioning, moving in as we head through the day today and really taking shape across the west coast and the Pacific Northwest on Tuesday here, December 27th, tomorrow. Widespread heavy mountain snow in those ski resorts across Idaho, western Wyoming, getting up into western Montana. But where it's warm enough to rain, it will rain, and it'll rain pretty heavily across portions of Washington State, down through Oregon, portions of northwestern Nevada, and north central California. Places like Sacramento, getting up here towards Portland, Oregon, and Seattle. Very heavy rainfall on Tuesday. That will continue to move south and east on Wednesday here, with much more mountain snow across Colorado, getting through Salt Lake City here into Utah, western Wyoming, and much of the Pacific Northwest. But again, where it's warm enough to rain on Wednesday, December 28th, it will rain heavily across the Phoenix area, getting up toward Las Vegas, and getting into portions even of the Los Angeles area as we get into Wednesday, and then even on Thursday as well, with those widespread heavy mountain snows and widespread flooding rains across much of the West Coast late this upcoming week. And the reason why we're seeing that here is we're seeing just a strong, very dynamic upper level jet streak moving in across the western United States here as we head through early on this week, and that really continues through much of the week here. And by the time we get into Thursday, December 29th, that will be diving its way farther south, aimed towards Southern California, toward Los Angeles, towards the Baja of California. And that's going to pull all of that moisture farther south and east across those areas where they desperately need some rainfall to help that drought situation out. And we do see those here, precipitable water values here really climbing across the west coast and the northwestern United States, going towards early to middle portion of this week here. This is the highest amount of moisture in the United States going into that Tuesday, December 27th and Wednesday, December 28th timeframe. You can see these deeper greens and deeper blues, especially pointed towards California, Nevada, portions there of Oregon, Washington, and even Idaho as well. And that there's a lot more where this comes from here, with lots of heavy rainfall through the start of 2023. We could be seeing some widespread multiple inches of rain across the western areas here of western Washington, western western Oregon and then getting down the coastline here of California. Very heavy rainfall, anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rain, with locally higher amounts likely as we get through the start of the new year. And that will yield some flooding concerns across the west coast here from Seattle all the way down here toward the Sacramento area, with those marginal to slight risk categories from the Weather Prediction Center on the day one rainfall outlook here, with some excessive rainfall there. And then going into Tuesday, tomorrow into Wednesday morning, that will move its way farther south towards the coastline there of California into southwestern Oregon, with that slight risk for excessive rainfall and very heavy flooding potential there on Tuesday. And then looking at the snowfall with the mountain snows as well, we're going to be seeing those colder temperatures in the higher elevations, very heavy moisture moving in, and the very heavy snowfall across the Sierra Nevadas. We could be pushing up over 60 inches of snow. Yes, 60 inches of snow or more across parts of the Sierra Nevadas, going right straight through Sunday, January 1st of 2023. But elsewhere across the higher elevations of Nevada, getting up towards the Salt Lake City area, into portions of central Utah, western Colorado, and then getting down here into Arizona and New Mexico, we'll be talking about feet of snowfall, 1, 2, even 3 feet of snow in some of those higher elevations there. And then across the Pacific Northwest, we'll be seeing some very heavy mountain snow and feet as well up toward Vancouver, getting down through portions of Washington, Oregon State, and northern California, and that will be spreading eastward through those ski resorts there, in through Idaho and northern Nevada, getting into western Wyoming here, and then even western Montana as we head through the start of the new year. But as we get toward late in the week, as the system progresses farther off to the east, that trough will be there across the southwestern United States, and then we have that blocking pattern a little bit farther off to the north and east, with that high pressure system across northeastern United States into southeastern Canada. And what this will do is strengthen a pretty powerful low pressure system, a 996 millibar low, developing somewhere around the lee side of the Rockies and into western Kansas as we go through Thursday afternoon. And that could be bringing some heavier rains to places like eastern Texas and the Arklatex, with some lighter snowfall breaking out across the Dakotas, northern Minnesota, and back toward the Colorado Rockies around the Denver area on Thursday. That will propagate its way to the east on Friday, bringing some heavier rainfall, maybe even some severe weather across places like the Arklatex and the Dixie Alley region as we head towards that Friday, December 30th timeframe. And then as we get into Saturday here, New Year's Eve on December 31st, widespread heavy rain here across portions of the Missouri Valley, downstate Illinois, through much of the southeast here from time to time. And then that other storm system, another powerful low pressure system, will be diving into western California as a 996 millibar low. Higher elevation snow will be there across the Sierra Nevadas, through Nevada as well, and into portions of western Utah. But where it's warm enough to rain, it will rain heavily across the Sacramento area, getting down through San Francisco, and maybe even as far south as Los Angeles, going through the day here on Saturday. But farther off to the east, with that severe weather potential here that I've been talking about, we got those dew points surging northward all the way to the Chicago area, into northern Illinois and eastern Iowa, into the 40s and 50s out there, even some lower 60 dew points up across eastern Texas and into portions of Arkansas and Louisiana going into Thursday afternoon. And what this will do is the instability values will start to increase across eastern Texas and the Arklatex and those surrounding areas, and that will provide the threat for some thunderstorms and potentially even some severe weather going into the day on Thursday, and that may even extend farther east on Friday and Saturday as well. But looking at heavy rainfall here across the deep south, widespread 1 to 3 inch rainfall amounts here around the Arklatex, down through the immediate Gulf Coast, places like New Orleans, portions of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, getting down through the Mobile, Alabama area, and North Florida. We could be talking about widespread flooding concerns across those areas. And then back to the west across California, we're talking about widespread 1 to 3 inches of rain during the end of the year, as we get towards that time frame as well, especially getting down toward Los Angeles, Sacramento, and portions of San Francisco as we get towards that New Year's Eve time frame. And that's going to yield, again, the potential for more flooding across portions of California and northwestern California in particular, and across the Arklatex here, places like southwestern Arkansas, eastern portions of Texas along and east of the I-35 corridor and getting into western portions of Louisiana. That will be going into Thursday, December 29th, and then that will spread its way a little bit farther to the east and kind of increasing in coverage across much of the Dixie Alley region going into Friday, December 30th and going into New Year's Eve itself. But looking here across portions of Nevada, you're going to be seeing lots of very heavy mountain snow going into New Year's Eve here, just not too far to the north of Las Vegas here. We're going to be really close here in the Las Vegas region between maybe seeing a few flakes of snow and some heavier rainfall here, but it's definitely going to be a nice soaking rain here for those drought concerns across Central California going through the middle here of the day on Saturday, and that will continue going into Sunday morning. That system will move its way to the east across the Four Corners region, bringing those heavier mountain snows across Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico on New Year's Day itself on January 1st here of 2023. That other system will be moving its way up toward the northeast with some heavier rainfall through the I-95 corridor here from Boston through New York City and New Jersey as well, down toward Washington, D.C. through the day on Sunday. Going over the next week, this is all the way through the next 7 days, and you could be seeing lots of heavy rainfall here across the West Coast, all the way from British Columbia, all the way south to Southern California here. Lots of heavy rainfall here and those heavier mountain snows as well. In between, not too much active weather here across the Great Plains region, but just to the east across the deep south, getting up through the Ohio Valley and parts of the Northeast. Very heavy rainfall here, and especially across portions of Arkansas, East Texas, Louisiana, getting eastward here into Mississippi, Alabama, and even portions of Northwest Florida and Georgia. We're going to be talking about widespread 1 to 3 inches or more of rainfall going through the next 7 days across those areas. We're also going to see a northwestern side of these systems as well, bringing some colder air down, maybe some light to moderate snow accumulations here across portions of the Dakotas, getting into northwestern Minnesota, and then into southern portions of Canada as well, with that snow line a lot farther to the north, with that surge of the warmth into the eastern 2/3 of the country going in towards that New Year's holiday. So that is something to keep an eye on. And beyond New Year's, going right straight through January 8th, it looks like the warmth will have some staying power across the eastern 2/3 of the country with near normal temperatures out west, and it does look very active during this period as well across much of the lower 48, especially centered here again on California and Nevada, and again another period from portions of Ohio Valley down through the Gulf Coast here, with a couple of storm systems going right straight through that first full week in January. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate you guys watching my videos out there. Remember to like the video down below by giving it a thumbs up. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new. Hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Have a great Monday, everyone, and I will see you all in the next video.